And now I invite Tyrone forward to lead us in a message. Thank you.
Well, I want to say thank you again for having us here. I stand here in representation of the whole Harambee family, in gratitude, in gratitude. And it's always an honor to be community, represent community, and stand in community. And this is what this is. This is us. It's a huge world. Each place have communities, and we are that. This is our community. And to be a representative of our community, I am pretty much grateful and honor, and I'd say it every time that to be chosen, use that word, not lightly, to be chosen has to be an honor, has to not be taken for granted. And to be chosen, somebody saw something in you. And that can be in the physical and that can also be in the spiritual. Right? I always said that had you saw Tyrone Wilson in the 80s, there's no way possible that I'll be thinking I'll be standing in the place that I'm standing in today. And I do not take all the credit for that because it was a leading guidance that I had no idea about, which is called a calling. Somebody was setting me up, gearing me up for something I didn't even see myself. And the honor in that is to be as righteous as possible in that space. Because to be given that space is really a high honor with a lot of responsibility, whether you like it or not. And what happens in that space is that if you get cocky about it, if you grandstand about it, if you make it all about you, all the things that is not supposed to happen when you are called to do something, it will be stripped from you. It will be. Because what is the calling is not for you. It is a message that you receive to give out to everybody else. So it's nothing for you to be owning. It's not for you to be selfish about. It is not for you to think that you're above anybody else. It is a calling for you to be a servant to the higher power. Being a servant to the higher power, you cannot lie to the people. You cannot cheat the people. You cannot cheat the work. You are responsible to receive and deliver. So when I was this young kid in Harlem, New York, in the 80s, all we knew was survival. We didn't know anything about the real world, what was out there. Many of us never went past the George Washington Bridge. Many of us never even visited the Statue of Liberty. What was there was the very project that we was in, and that's all we knew. And what was there was very obvious, a very treacherous struggle that all you knew without even thinking was to learn how to survive. I can't tell you how so many 14, 13, 12, that young of an age who learned real fast to be all right with death. And you would think, being a 12, 13, 14-year-old, you're still in the life of, playing, having fun with your friends, getting in a little trouble with your parents, stuff like that. But there is a real reality out there that has not allowed kids to be kids. And there's a lot of things that we see that we may not understand. And it does matter based on where you was raised and where you come from, what you really understand. There are many individuals, and I speak for myself, that I can remember at 13 years old willing to accept death. Every year, what our life was that we was losing our friends every summer. Every summer we knew that somebody was going to die. It was so consistent that we will sit and pay attention to the seasons and say by the time we got to March of those years, we would sit in front of our project building and we would stand together in unity, and I could tell you what we have said. If we die this summer, just know we love each other. That's us at 13 years old. Because the track record has shown us that one of us, two of us, some of us was not going to make it through the summer. I'm sharing this because we have to have understanding, and I'm hoping to bring you into a place of understanding. So when you do see things, and a lot of people, I love to hear when people say, hey, look at the child. That behavior is telling you something. It's talking to you. We was made and built to not cry out for help as you would normally may hear it. Our cry for help seemed to a lot of people as violent. It is violent. It was violent. It was loud. It was aggressive. It was all of that. But in everything that we had to look at the root. Where did that come from? Nobody's just born to just act like that and behave like that, or have the anger that they feeling like that. So my message in today, as you hear me speak, is hoping to give clarity to what some people call the hood, the ghetto, all the names that they give. I am fortunate and very proud of my journey, because my success is not my success. My success belongs to my higher power. That's where my success lies in. So I don't really say I'm successful. I have to give grace to where it belongs first in order for me to receive it. I am 50 years old, and I can tell you By the time I was 21, I had lost more people than you can think of by the time I was 21. Friends who never even made it to 21, who never even made it to 18 years old. Families, mothers, generational abuse, generational struggle, generational fear. We all inherit it. And the reason why I'm grateful today is because I'm the baby on both sides of my family. And even in my family, we all have, we have to be very transparent. So even in my own physical family, we was labeled, right? Because you had some family members who, what you call successful, they was teachers, they was doctors, they was doing things, life. I remember, as big as my family is, we only had one person in the family that had a car. So every funeral was either walking or renting some limousines because we didn't have vehicles like that. We had members as my mom's. My mom's was a baby of 12, and she was the baby. The family dynamics was very, very hard and dark, and a lot of things going on in generational of the family line. My mom's only had a 6th grade education. We learned to navigate real fast, real early, based on the situations that we were in. One of the things I had to learn to do, because I knew my mom couldn't help me with my homework because she didn't know how to do my homework. I remember going into the house when I started to realize my mother didn't understand my own homework and she couldn't help me. For a long time, I covered that up to not make her feel a certain way. So what I have done and what I learned to do was go to the after school program. I would lie to my mother and tell her that I did my homework already. But I knew I didn't do it yet, but I knew that I was going to the after school program to go get it done. But this is some of the things that we learned how to do because of circumstances so early in our life. My mom's life wasn't easy at all. She had to navigate. So I'm saying this because it's so many, this is only one piece of the many things that's happening out in this world. This story is definitely not the only story, but it is a story, and it is a reality. And I choose to make sure that I never forget where I came from. I never forget that there are still people there who was young Tyrone, who is trying to navigate, who is trying to find a way. And I'm saying about my gratitude is that the higher power that I'm talking about has saw something in me that gave me some knowledge of advancement to try to find my way out. I realized my mother couldn't do that. I didn't have a relationship with my father. So I knew early to navigate myself out. I signed myself up to the National Guard. I signed myself up to the Peace Corps. It was a thing that if I didn't do something, it was jail or death. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I learned how to fill applications out. I learned how to mail things out. I used my football coach as a my own reality of a father. In my mind, I would look at him as a father, and that helped ease some of the pain. God bless his soul, he may not have known that, but that was my dad. So in football, I also learned life. And when I filled out those applications, I said to myself, because we always feel like there's failure, like nothing is gonna happen. I told myself, nobody gonna call me back. Stay in survival mode, navigate. I happened to get a letter back from the Peace Corps, the National Civilian Peace Corps, and I remember receiving that letter. I was so used to checking the mail early because when I used to try to beat my mom for getting the mail when I was bad in school and the teachers are sending, so I was used to going to the mailbox and trying to get that letter before it got to my mother. But I remember to this day that I received this letter, and I gave my mother every mail except for that one because my mother didn't even know that I did that application. And I remember going in the stairway. The stairway was like, for some reason, it was like our safe haven. I don't know, but we would always go to the stairway, sit in there. And I remember taking this letter, opening up this letter. I mean, very slow. I can't even tell you how slow it was. And I knew you would see the dates first, and then some type of title, and then the little information. So I was really cracking this letter so slow. Look, I saw the date, I saw this, and then I closed my eyes. I opened up the paper, closed my eyes, opened my eyes, and I saw this congratulations. And this congratulations, even though it was this little, but it was so big to me. And I saw this congratulations. You have been assigned to the Denver, Colorado Air Force Base, located in Denver, Colorado. And when I tell you that was everything for me. I was nurtured, in my belief, I was nurtured in the spiritual way as a very young person to no knowledge of my own understanding. Then it was this period of time that I had to take matters into my own hand, right? And, the nurturing could have just happened, but if I didn't take matters into my own hand, you have to connect the matters in your own hand to the nurturing to make the results come out to be fulfilled, right? If I didn't do what I had to do and just sit there, I don't think I'd be standing here with you today. But taking the matters into your own hand, in my own hand, and getting the congratulations and being shipped out to Denver, Colorado was the beginning of my understanding and my knowledge of everything that I do today in Harambee. Because it was at that time, for those 4 years, that taught me, about the real world, the open world. Listen, I never knew about hippies until I went to, my roommate was a hippie. He had the van with the bed in it and the go-go lights in it. And we were the best of friends. I was never exposed. This is what I'm talking about, right? I was never exposed to that. Unfortunately, anytime we went downtown to Manhattan, it was when we was going to court. It's the only time we would go down to Manhattan. Or some of us had a little job down there, but we never touched downtown Manhattan. So we don't have that exposure. So going to the Peace Corps was everything for me. The diversity that it taught me, what I have seen, and I've traveled all over the United States doing community service. That was our job. And I met Cambodians. My brother is a Cambodian right now who I met all the way back in 1996. We are still in communication. My first project was at his family's location in Dallas, Texas, building a whole Cambodian community. Until this day, we are still friends. We are brothers, not friends. We are brothers. So I've learned so much in these 4 years that have prepared me for what you see today in Harambee and, all the community work. Having my elders, as everybody may or may not know, Juma Sultan. These are guiding pieces that continue because I'm not finished and I'm not fulfilled. And we still need guidance. We are not greater than or bigger than anybody. It's important that we tap into our elders and we keep them close. And it's important that we understand, for anybody younger than me here, it's important, understand who you are, find a purpose and understand your purpose. So many people miss their purpose. So many people miss it. But find it, embrace it. You'll know when it comes to you, you'll know what it is. But when you get that understanding and you feel it, grab onto it. Do not let it go. You're gonna have a lot of ups and downs, sideways or crossways, but stay true to your purpose. All right? And we have to make sure that we understand. Don't let wealth or the segment of what that tells you. Wealth is not that green thing. It's not. It's not that paper. Wealth is your understanding of who you are, being happy about who you are, understanding who you are, and living in this life, in this world, okay with who you are. That is wealth. Don't let them confuse you. Don't let them confuse us. That you got to have a mansion and you got to have a yacht. You got to have all these acres. That doesn't define wealth. Stay close to the spirit. Embrace yourself. Embrace others. Love thy neighbor is a real thing. Real thing. Stay in that space. And I say to our elders here, thank you for your journey. Thank you for your younger you. Because we have to also, as a young man, we have to also understand that before us there was a you. And the lights and the torches must be passed. Your work could not go in vain. The younger generation, we must understand that too. The trials and tribulations that you're facing as a younger generation, older generation faced it as well and been fighting ever since. So you cannot see yourself not feeling like as a young person you don't have a duty. You don't have a responsibility. You do. You do. And unfortunately, we're not in a world where our elders can sit back and really relax and say, hey, I've done a lot for this country. I've done a lot for this world. And they don't have the opportunity to really sit back the way they're supposed to. That's the real us. And I think about that all the time. That our elders are still fighting for health care today, crying because health care is taken away from them, crying because they can't afford to live in the very house that they worked so hard for. The world banking on them going into nursing homes to take their house. If you don't have your stuff in order, your house is taken. It's not passed on. That's not the world I want to live in. It's not. We should not work literally to death. So I want to give honor to you elders here and everywhere, as I always do, because I also want you to hear from my own mouth that your work is not unnoticed and your work is not in vain. There are individuals like us here that want to keep fighting for you and fighting for us. So I say in conclusion, thank you for who you are. Continue to be who you are. And may God forever hold you close and tight. Ashe.